Hi, welcome to this PBL project entitled Interacting with Anglophone Culture and English Generalities through a Social Media. This project was conducted by Sebastián Leonis, Valentina León, and Jefferson Rojas. Chapter 3: Methodology and Data Collection Process. Okay, in the methodology part, throughout this project, we wanted to consider a communicative approach since according to an author called Chomsky, this approach works as a means of communication and tool in social interactions. And this is what we wanted to accomplish through this interactive social network called Instagram. We must highlight that this was developed in a more interactive way due to the tools that this app provided us, but the approach was the same. Population. Well, our participants were young adults and adults ranging from 18 to 34 years old. We decided to choose this kind of population since according to a website called Hootsuite, this kind of population is the most active and participatory on social networks in Colombia. Well, Instagram provided us a lot of tools that we took advantage of, and all the activities were developed by means of these tools, such as surveys, quizzes, story sections, and posts, in which we of course posted a lot of activities that we planned for every week. Well, throughout this project, we implemented a lot of activities, and these activities were carried out by means of the tools that this app provided us. And the topics that we carried out were, for example, comparing the British with American English. We also implemented some grammar exercises, and we shared some slangs and idioms used in the Anglophone countries. And also, we implemented some listening comprehension exercises um, through the story section of this app, in which the participants had to participate, of course, and they have to vote through the quizzes up to the surveys that we posted every week. They also send us some like exercises or some opinions about these topics via direct message. Well, here in these three images, you can see some of the example of the activity that we posted every week in our platform, in our account. In the first image, you can see an example of an idiom that we posted in this app. In the second image, you can see an example of the difference between American and British English. In the third image, you can see a basic example of how to make a basic conversation in sign language. Okay, data collection process. To collect the data for this project, we used a tool that Instagram provided us, and it was about the statistics part, in which we could see all the interactions, how many interactions we had weekly, and the discoveries, and how many people we reached, and the navigation of people, the impressions that each post had. And it was quite interesting because there was a complete information that we got. We could see everything in how successful was each post. Okay, here we can see some of the insights or statistics of our account in some posts. For example, in the first image, we can see the insights of our account, EnglishLab.app, and we reached almost 100 people. And we also can see the days of the week in which the posts were more successful, And in the second image, we can see the interactions and the discoveries of a post. And for example, we had 4 profile visits and we reached 55 people. In the third image, we can see the interaction that a story had, and we, for example, had 80 impressions and 58 people saw this story.
Our final product launch. As a final product of this project, we propose a poster in which our followers can show what they have learned during this period of time, taking into account the cultural facts and the English generalities that we published using the multiple tools Instagram have. With this poster, the idea is to constatate what our participants have learned during this learning process using a social media as a main resource. Taking into account the data analysis process, it is important to mention that our findings suggest that promote English as a second language using a social media, it is suitable for people who is interested in learning a second language while exploring one of their personal mobile applications. Moreover, using Instagram to teach English allowed us to identify the manners in which people prefer to be informed thanks to the tools the mobile application have, such as direct message, Instagram stories, feed publications, comments, and others. In this case, our data collected show us that people prefer to participate using the tool comments instead of the direct message.
In this part, that is the discussion part, we take into account two studies that are really important when we regard the theoretical framework of this study. The first one is Kessler 2018, and he shows a technology and a future language teaching. And in this, let's say, theory, he shows why it's important and how is the relevancy that is taken the technology nowadays, and that we have a lot of opportunities from technology to communicate and also to transmit information, and we can evidence that in our project, in the visits of our project, in the high participation in our study, because every participant was focused in the next activity to participate. They even sent us messages for asking us when was the next activity. And this took us to mention Dermot 2013, in which in who talks about the collaborative learning that we have when we use a technological tool to teach, and this is all because of the audiovisual ads that Instagram offers to the customers, to the people that uses this, and that's why we have used Instagram to develop our project. And also, Dermot mentions something really relevant, that is the lack of grades that we have when learning a second language through a technological tool, through a social media, in this case Instagram, that has demonstrated with the high participation, as I have mentioned before, with the comments, with the posts, with the direct messages that the participants sent us, and also with the reactions that they have in our posts and also in the stories that we put every day. Finally, we can conclude that Instagram can have a beneficial effect on improving the second language of the students, the skills that we can obtain when learning a second language. This is a really actualized method of teaching, and it is really easy to communicate and to transmit information to the students and to the language learners. The most important reason for us to conduct this study via Instagram, it was because of the tools that Instagram offers, and because we wanted to promote the cultural aspect in the Anglophone culture, and a little bit of grammar linked to that culture, to the Anglophone culture, as I have said. In general terms, we can say that the objectives of the project were successful, because we fulfilled all of our objectives, and we can evidence that because we got the attention of the participants. We acquired because of the active participation and because they were a really good audience. We can also say that Instagram is really useful when teaching English for us as teachers, because it can give us, or it gave us, a lot of creativity for implementing new ideas, for new activities for our students, for our participants. Instagram is a really beneficial tool for teachers as learners, and we can say that the creativity and resources that this platform gave us is amazing and really innovative.